Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I'll share the book, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want us straight away, first of all, to appreciate really that audit is all about an independent practitioner who comes to evaluate financial statements done by who? Management of a company. So an independent practitioner like Aura and the company CPA auditors coming in to evaluate financial statements done by the management of, say, Kenya Airways. Why are we doing this? It's because we want to give an opinion as to whether the financial statements prepared by themselves, the managers, portray a true and a fair view status of the company. So, and of course, remember, in most cases, not unless it's the very, very first audit, in most cases, we as auditors, we are engaged by who? We are engaged by the shareholders of a company through an AGM. So you must be having, because this is an assurance service, there must be a tripartite arrangement. We have three parties involved. We have, in this case here, the primary party, who is the stakeholder, who is the shareholder, who would want, in this case here, these books here to be reviewed. So we have, in this case here, the preparer, who are the managers who are running the company. They prepare the financial statements. And then now there is this external person who is supposed to be very independent, who is the auditor. So the auditor, in this case, is coming as an eye of the shareholders. Now, unfortunately, like in Africa here, there are very few great auditors who are able, for example, if they go to audit, if they realize that these particular managers are eating shareholders' money, will be able to get back to the AGM to report. We'll be able to get back to the shareholders to report the same. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would want to remind you that an auditor is supposed to be a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Not a bloodhound. So bloodhound is B-L-O-O-D, blood. Hound is H-O-U-N-D. Ladies and gentlemen, if, for example, today you are to be a great hunter, you need, in this case here, a dog. The type of dog you'll walk around as you hunt would either be a good dog, which is a watchdog, or in this case here, a bad dog, which is what here, a bloodhound, which can even end up eating you if it doesn't get any meat during your hunting exercise. It's like a hyena. Now remember, when you have this type of dogs, if it's a watchdog, you've gone, in this case here, with it outside there, you're hunting with it, this watchdog would run after, for example, a rabbit, strike it down. It doesn't eat raw meat. It will come back holding that rabbit to you as the hunter. You go with it home, you cook, and then you give it its share of what you cook, rabbit. That's a very good, in this case, a watchdog. So an auditor, as I'm sent, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, to go out there by the shareholders, to go to their farms and investigate what these directors are doing there, there are two possibilities. If I'm a good watchdog, if I go there and realize that these guys have swindled, say, 100 million, and then they are telling me that, you know what, we can easily give you like 10 million for you to be quiet. If I'm a watchdog, I'll be able to tell them, no, stay with your 10 million, and I go back and talk to the shareholders, tell their shareholders, things are not all right here. But what if, in this case here, I'm a bloodhound? A bloodhound, in this case here, is a hunting dog, will run after a rabbit, knock it down, eat the whole of it, and then come back to the hunter with lots of blood oozing from its mouth. And of course, smiling, telling the hunter that this rabbit was very, very sweet. I would want to pause here and ask you guys a question, because I'm so sure, especially the guys who are at advanced level, once in this case here, ladies and gentlemen, we release you out of this, you become practitioners. Are you going to be bloodhounds and they come and they celebrate with the directors? And then during the AGM, you come and say that these are the best directors that there are in this world. Keep on re-electing them. Or will you be able to expose matters with these auditors, and then we say that you are a watchdog? Which kind of a dog will you be outside here? Be very honest with me. A bloodhound or a watchdog? Please be very, very honest with me. I can see Edwin Githaka telling me that the 10 million deal is good. I would rather in this case here be, Githaka is trying to be a very honest ninja. A very honest ninja. So we have one guy who is going to heaven here telling me, Mwalimu, I would want to be a watchdog. I would, in this case, even if I'm getting just 50,000 per month as salary as an auditor, that 10 million, I will be able to say no to it. I'll be able to say nothing to do with any V8s, whatever. I would want, in this case here, to live a very normal life within my means. Watchdogs suffer. In this country, watchdogs suffer. And then we have another good student, in this case here, saying that this must be 10 million any day. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're supposed to know as you go to attack this paper called Auditing and Assurance or Advanced Auditing and Assurance, you are supposed to know that as an auditor, you are supposed to exercise what we call professional skepticism. So under professional skepticism, you are always supposed to doubt every person. You're supposed to doubt every evidence given to you for you to be able to search for appropriate, sufficient audit evidence. You need a lot of what your professional skepticism. Now, for you to be able to practice this professional skepticism nicely, you don't take everything that you are given here as a working paper, and then you say, this is very good, you're filing. No. This director has given you this as a working paper. Tell them that in auditing, especially whenever we get data from internal, evidence from internal here, it will not be as reliable as we would wish. So you must do what we call corroboration. I would want in this case here to verify whether this evidence is correct using other sources. So then, as I come to inspect your working file papers, I would want to see, for example, the directors are saying this was the bank balance as at this date. But you as the auditor has also been, of course, through the approval of management, you've been able to talk to the bank. And you got, in this case here, for example, bank confirmation. Those are the inquiries and third-party confirmations. Because I want auditors who are going to be very skeptical. You should be able to doubt information that you are given for you to be able to get sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. Appropriate is about what quality of evidence are you getting? Now, ladies and gentlemen, why am I sending you out there as auditors to really go and become quite apprehensive? It's like you're fearing. It's like you're doubting every information you're given. It's because outside here, every individual, including yourselves, every person is greedy. And that's why I'm not surprised to see most of you are saying you're going to become bloodhounds. And those are the very honest people. Most of you, remember this report that was done just the other day in Kenya, actually last year, where over 60% of employees in Kenya were said to be going to their workplaces every morning with an intention of stealing. Over 60%. Look at our corruption indices given to us by ESCC. They are going up by the day. That even if somebody in this case here came to us and this person is disabled and we are able, we will still want to eat something from them. We are in a country that we can talk of what here, man eat man society. So if, for example, we were to come 1 million of us, like the shareholders of Safaricom, we've been able to contribute something small, each one of us. And then we start a company called Safaricom. These 1 million shareholders cannot remain in Nairobi to manage one office. The operations here will be chaotic. So what this would mean is that out of these 1 million direct shareholders, most of them will go home and then they'll be able to appoint, like, say, 20 directors to sit in the Nairobi offices and be like their agents, managing their affairs. These 20 guys you've selected there, they are not saved. The 20 guys you've selected there, given the competition that we have in the society today, would want to misappropriate the assets of this company and, of course, convert them from being companies' properties to personal properties. So then as auditors, or rather as shareholders, as you are going home, knowing that you have left a hyenas to run operations on your behalf, what do? You need to put them in their toes. you need to appoint independent auditors. The auditors must be independent of them. The auditors must be independent of the firm. So when we talk of independence, you need to remember very well the acronym of SURFACE. SURFACE. SURFACE, I can write here for you guys. SURFACE, let me write here. Today, I wish you guys can give me even 3 hours. I give you the entire audit in a way that you guys will be able to pass. But unfortunately, now you're ninjas. I don't know what kind of food you guys eat. You get tired very fast. I don't know. So in this case here, we have what we call SURFACE. For the auditor to be very independent, he must, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, apply that SURFACE principle. And I will be able to dictate very fast. So S in this case, ladies and gentlemen, stands for self-review. The first one stands for self-review. Under self-review, we are looking at a situation where the auditor is giving non-assurance or non-audit services. So this guy is the guy who is doing tax, is the guy who is doing even bookkeeping. So if, for example, he does tax for this company, the figure of tax will find its way to the financial statements. It was 10 million, was computed by the auditor. So in this case here, the financial statements will be debated, they're discussed at the board level, they're approved. And then, of course, before we even start talking about paying of dividends, the auditors must also go through these financial statements and give their opinion. So these guys will be very skeptical when they're looking at sales figure. When they're looking at assets figure, they'll be very skeptical. But when they reach the tax figure, who computed it? It is them. So they're reviewing their own work. They may not be able to see errors. All of us, we think that we are what here? We are very, very perfect here. They don't be able to see errors. And even if they see any error there, they'll not be able to report who would want to embarrass themselves. So when you are reviewing your own work, that is self-review, that is a big conflict of interest. It's a big independence threat. We have A. A in this case here for advocacy. A for advocacy. So you see advocacy, how advocacy comes in. Like right now, RCM, of course, is the biggest CPA college that we have in this market. And how did it become to that stage? Most of our students are our advocates. I normally see on social media, whenever in this case here we are asked, of course, which college is good. Even if at times we try to intervene and request some of you to promote us. I mean, there are so many of you will get there and they say it's RCM because of how you've been able to evaluate us. So basically you are our advocates. So when you finish, and then we hire you to become our auditor, don't you think you'll be conflicted? Because I mean, the public outside here knows that you have a stand on or against RCM. You've been saying RCM ni nyeupe kama pamba, nyeupe kama pamba. And then now here you are auditing us, you are conflicted automatically, because even in future, when you will be able to gather and realize that there are bad things happening at RCM inside here, you will be too much embarrassed to even go and state them outside there, given what you have been telling the public. The same case with politics. There are guys who are really, for example, for Kenya Kwanza. We know them. Right now, I mean, of course, you're not saying that things are very bad. Or of course, you're trying to have this ship stabilizing. But there are people who cannot even now come and say that this is bad fertilizer because of their stand. So whenever it is about advocacy, you may have stood in a court of law as an auditor, either for us or against us. So long as you have ever taken any stand, then automatically whenever it comes to subsequent audits, you will be compromised. You will be conflicted. So in that case, you should be able to do what here? You should be able to resign. You should be able to resign. So we are talking of SURFACE. So we have F. This F here stands for familiarity. This F stands for familiarity. 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 So familiarity from the word family. Ladies and gentlemen, once, you know, outside here, in Kenya especially, you can audit one client even for 10, 15, 20 years. We were never ashamed. Outside then the European Union, in the USA, you can't audit a single organization for more than 3 years. That's why they talk about auditing firms rotating, rotational audits. All right. For us, in this case, you can even have one engagement partner, just being with that client throughout. ladies and gentlemen, we are human beings. If you put me as an engagement partner at Safaricom for consecutive even 2-3 years, will get known to these people, the directors, so much to each other, will get known to each other so much, such that even if, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, they have got what here, like a wedding, one of the directors has a wedding, the daughter is getting married. When they call upon me, given the familiarity, please auditor attend, I will attend. When they have, in this case here, for example, some functions, it will be very hard for me even to say no. Familiarity breeds contempt. Ile kujuana sana ikileta mambo mengi sana. You will be able, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, to have very many, you know, as an auditor, you're supposed to be walking around with lots of respect. The moment these guys here become so much familiar with you, they'll not respect you. It shall reach a stage where you call upon a particular document here to be brought to you, and they bring you nothing, and you can't do anything. You can't do anything. I can see what Daisy is raising there. Great. We shall be able to look at that. Great. Now, remember familiarity, ladies and gentlemen. In this case here, we'll always need to do what? Whenever you ask a question on familiarity, don't tell, in this case here, us to resign. Say, in this case here, this guy, this company has been given 5 years, no problem, but at least get to change the engagement partners. Get to change the engagement team. Those are the kind of things that I would want to see you guys talking. So familiarity is very, very bad. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, we are looking at Mr. Surface. From there, we have what we call intimidation. Intimidation. Ladies and gentlemen, if they're bad careers, at times auditors, we are in very, very bad, risky careers. Like I remember some time back, there is an internal auditor in the Ministry of Health who came and raised an alarm, said in this case here that these people are stealing. It was during Uhuru Kenyatta's time. That guy, I mean, was transferred. Up to now, you don't even know whether the guy exists. When you do something, and then you are at the point of whistleblowing, normally, given the undue pressure that will be arising because of the whistleblowing, you are better off, in this case, resigning from the subsequent audits because of what? Intimidation. There is no way somebody will come and put his gun on top of my head telling me that, you know what, I want a good audit opinion. When he tells me like that, and because I love life, chances are I will be inclined towards telling the whole public that these guys are good, because who not want really to keep on living? I mean, life is sweet. That's why even our greatest of the greatest pastors, they know that the only way of going to heaven is through death. But if you tell them to die today, life is good. Nobody will want to die. All right. So when you feel that you are really, your life is at risk, you are always better off saying that there is conflict of interest here. For my case, I have an interest of protecting myself, so I'll not be independent. I want to be dependent. Even if I got evidence saying that things are bad, because I would want to continue living, then I would rather, in this case here, give a good report, even if things show otherwise. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about surface intimidation. The last one is about self-interest. The last one is about self-interest. So under self-interest, what are we supposed to remember under self-interest? So under self-interest, ladies and gentlemen, we are not supposed to own shares, for example, in a client that you're auditing. Because if you own shares there, if the auditor goes ahead to say, hey, the financial statements of this company are not very good, then what will happen, ladies and gentlemen, is that the share price will go down. I would want a situation where the share price is going up every day. And whenever I pronounce good things about this company, then the share price goes up. So then you can see, really, I'm conflicted there. I would want a situation where I'm very independent. Ladies and gentlemen, remember how your independence threats question come. It comes in the context of what here, you guys, for example, the auditor has some shares here and there. So practically, what should you do? You can't tell the audit firm to decline the appointment. Remember, that's an individual who has shares in that company. So the individual should not be a team member in this engagement team. If he was the engagement partner, he should resign and we put on a new partner there. All right. Remember, this concept of independence in most cases, in your case here, will come from which point? From the point of undue hospitality. where you go to a company and then you hear that there now people, we're going to meet at Naivasha, and then they start, in this case here, hiring for you these balloons, hot air balloons. That's undue hospitality. Remember, as an auditor, I can only enjoy things that other employees are enjoying at the maximum. So if, for example, 10 o'clock tea guys are taking just tea with one mandazi, once I start seeing 2 mandazis, once I start seeing 3 mandazis coming my way, that's undue hospitality. There's a bad influence coming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I get to now audit, I've been able to sign an engagement letter. I'll have, in this case here, to think about the approach, the audit, in this case here, strategy, the audit plan. Which plan am I going to use, in this case here, to be able to get sufficient, appropriate audit evidence, which I'll be able to use as my supporting evidence for the opinion that I shall give. So please listen, ladies and gentlemen, here. The very first thing that I would want to really appreciate, for me to know which direction I will take strategically, I have to know how strong the internal control systems are for this company, ICS. Remember, ICS are supposed to be umbrellas. Umbrellas that are able to cover organizations from being rained on. Remember, there are so many people who want to rain on these organizations for purpose of enriching themselves as individuals at the expense of who? The company. So we want really to cover the whole organization with a very, very strong fabric, so that when a thief comes and knocks on this particular fabric, they injure their legs and their hands if they're trying to box. So we need a very strong internal control systems. How do we know that this umbrella of ours has a very great, a very strong shell? It's because of what here? The objectives. We must be good at the objectives of internal control systems. Remember, the objectives of internal control systems, we have what we call a STOP. You know, there are acronyms that you guys must be very good at. As you go to this particular exam, there are acronyms I would want you guys to be very good at. So, for example, if you're going to an exam, and then you've never heard of this acronym, for example, like spam soap. Spam soap. Have you ever heard of that acronym? Spam soap. There are acronyms that we must go to an exam knowing them. Knowing them. Then I'll be able to show you, don't worry. Don't worry, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. How many hours are you giving me today to teach you guys? How many hours are you giving me? Or we talk of minutes. But if you are available, like tomorrow during the day, I'm on leave now, we can be doing these things during the day. We go forever. We go up to 10:30, right? We go up to 10:30. 2 hours is good, yes. Let's go up to 10:30, around 10:30. 10:30 will be very good. It's a theory paper. And then I would want to know whether, by any chance, are you taking some notes? Are you taking some notes by any chance? Okay, then, great. So we start with a STOP. A STOP, so you write there, objectives of internal control systems. Objectives of internal control systems dash capital A, a STOP. So we start with A. Recording, yes. So the first, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, objective, even if I'm not recording, it's on Facebook. It's on Facebook Live. Facebook Live. So when you go to Facebook, Joshua Aura, ACCA Mentor, you'll be able to get me there. I'll be able to download it from there, and then, of course, put it on my YouTube, Joshua Aura, YouTube. Unfortunately, whenever I give you these videos to watch on YouTube, very few students are able to comment anything there. You don't want to uplift your mwalimu. You need to uplift your mwalimu to international status. This mwalimu works very hard. So when you just watch like that, you're not even subscribing. You must be my village witch. You must be my village witch, you. You're not even subscribing. You can't even say the name. Great. Lovely. Or even just put thumbs up like this. You must be my village witch. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. I hope the point is home. I hope the point is home. I hope the point is home. And I don't, of course, in this case, I always tell my students, I would want to use YouTube for my great pension. Right now, I'm enjoying very good things, membership to great golf clubs, etc. I don't want when I retire, I'll not be able to afford to go to what year golf club, to go to Capital Club. When I retire, I should be able to enjoy the same life that I'm enjoying today, even in my retirement. And I would want my YouTube to be giving me not less than 300, 400,000 per month. And if, of course, you've got any great ideas that can boost my YouTube channel, please, you're welcome. Talk to me. Talk to me. Great. 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 We shall overcome, okay? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Of course, I understand. It's very easy with a thumbs up or just something there. Great. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so a stop. So the first objective of internal control is for us to get accurate financial reports. So if I come to your company and I realize I'm not getting accurate financial reports, it means that your internal control systems are weak. And if they are weak, then as an auditor, I will not rely on them. It means I have to do a lot of work. I have to do substantial work. I have to do what we call substantive tests in detail, what we call the tests of detail. Test of detail. So A is accurate. S in this case, ladies and gentlemen, is the concept of what here? Safeguarding. Safeguarding assets of the company. Safeguarding assets of the company. I'm so sure the company that most of us are working for, the assets of the company are never ever taken good care of. You get directors who will be able to go with companies' assets to Mombasa. They are doing personal things over there, but they're recording everything. It's being recorded as what a business transaction. If it is county governments, I'm aware of some county governments, for example, officers who will use like county government vehicles to take bricks to their homes. They do private things. So when I realize, ladies and gentlemen, that your assets of the company are being misappropriated, be it cash, be it the physical, property, plant, and equipment, then straight away I know that there is no strong shell there. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Why should I start by investigating the strength of these internal control systems? It's because it really will affect the direction that the audit will take. It will affect the direction, yes, it's the objectives, yes, of internal control system. Once I know that these internal control systems are very strong, then I'll be able to do very little work. If it is sampling, if it's a farm where these internal control systems are working, so if it's a farm where internal control systems are working, then, ladies and gentlemen, I will be able to be doing what we call small sampling, even 20, because I mean, things are working there, because they have a good umbrella. But what if in this case here, I come to an organization and then I realize that this is a big man, big like Mwalimu Aura here, but now carrying an umbrella over my daughter, a young daughter probably who is in class 2, an umbrella that cannot even cover my ears alone. So the other parts of my body are being rained on. There are thieves all over, all right? So once I realize, oh, somebody has a big umbrella, but now with holes all over. If there are holes, of course, water will be able to get in. Things are not okay there. So if things are not okay there, then it means, ladies and gentlemen, that as an auditor, I'll be able to do lots of work. I'll be able to do lots of work. I'll be able to do lots of work. So that lots of work is what we call substantial or substantive tests. Substantive tests, ladies and gentlemen. That is number 2, safeguarding of the. Next is T. T in this case here means timely. Ladies and gentlemen, if I come to your organization as an auditor and ask for records, and then they take like a whole year, even a month. I mean, with these automated systems, any report that I need, I should be able to get it on just a touch of a button. If I'm not able to get these reports that swiftly, then I know that there's a problem. Even in our home states, mzee akikaa kwa meza anaomba chai, hiyo chai inachukua 2 hours kufika. Paka na mzee amelemewa kabisa. Are things okay in that home? Are things okay in that home? Please be very honest with me. Ama tusiongee mambo ya familia sana. They are not okay. I mean, for the time that I've been with my wife, if for example, I'm the one doing, in this case here, breakfast, say on Sunday, I know the exact time. I mean, it's traditional, we know. the exact time that this lady would need this tea. All right. So I should be able to provide that tea at that exact time. Not unless there are issues in the moment imeanza kununa namna hii, najua kuna timely. Apata chai ready. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Jane. All right. So timely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember it is a stop. So the next one is called O. So O for order. O for order. Ladies and gentlemen, where there is disorder, there cannot be any internal control systems. I'm privileged to have worked for Wazungu's farms. Wazungus are very, very organized. Do you know Mzungu, you can't even staple things just anyhow. You know, for us in Kenya, you can just wake up, get some documents, and even staple from down here. We don't care so much. Mzungu has got exact places where we want you to staple those things. Even their filing. Those guys are very organized. Even how they are punctual, timely. They are very organized. That's why their systems are working. So there should be order. There are companies that my students have invited me to go and say hi. When I look at how things are happening, you know that here there is a lot of disorder. And where there is disorder, there is what here, ladies and gentlemen? There is no way systems can work. We need order. We need, if it is the hierarchy, management hierarchy, who is reporting to who, that hierarchy has to be followed. There must be order in everything. In everything. If an auditor, I'm coming in this case, and then you're telling me that the systems are working, and then I just come and see blah, 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 blah. This is office time. The ladies in this case here who are catwalking there, all right, smiling or rather doing stories all over. I know there is a lot of disorder here. This company is not a company that will be able to go to very high places. Sorry for the examples that I use at times. I only use them so that you guys can remember these things for the longest time ever. Order. And then we have P, the last one. The last one is prevention. Prevention of fraud, and errors. So at times, ladies and gentlemen, you go and get, somebody gives you just like one schedule, property plan and equipment schedule. When you just try to run through things like this, you realize a big error. You will straight away know that internal control systems are not working, and then you should not be able to rely on that organization in terms of what your internal control systems. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, from there, then I'll be able to go to what we call substantive substantive tests. Under substantive tests, this is what I would want you guys to appreciate. Under substantive tests, this is what I would want you guys to appreciate. Substantive tests, if, for example, internal controls are not working at all, then I have to get into what we call the test of details. Now, I would want to even dig more. I'll be able to increase even my skepticism guard now. Because now I've known you are not very good people. Why are you carrying umbrellas of very, very young kids in the corridors of the company? Why do you want, in this case here, the company to be rained on? So I don't trust you at all. So I'll be able to go to what we call test of details or substantive tests. So the substantive tests, of course, we will be able to remember A, E, O, U, like that entire. Those are substantive tests. From the word substantial, I'll do a lot of work. A, E, O, U. Is there somebody who has ever heard of this? The vowels. You must have heard of this. A, E, O, U. So where A stands for what here? Analytical procedures. Yep. Thank you very much. A stands for analytical procedures. Analytical procedures. Analytical procedures. Analytical procedures. So analytical procedures, ladies and gentlemen, remember, analytical procedures, what we analyze transactions. We shall be able to compute ratios and see the trends. So if, for example, revenue is growing, but the gross profit margin is going down, then I know there is a problem with costing here. There is theft going on there. There must be something wrong. Because why should revenue go up and yet gross profit margin is going down? I should be able to put what we call an audit query. And then we have A for inquiries, and third party inquiries and third party confirmations. Inquiries and third party confirmations like that. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, in our skeptical nature, we are going to be very inquisitive. We are going to be very inquisitive. These are what we call the substantive procedures or substantive tests. Substantive tests or procedures. So you're going to be very inquisitive. So you should be inquiring from management. So the managers, when you inquire from them, they would want everything to be blah, 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 blah. And as an auditor, I want, in this case here, what we call management representations. That is what I'll be able to file. I can't file blah, 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 blah. That reminds me, sometime back, I went with my wife to some restaurant at Parklands called Mwiko Restaurant. Mwiko Restaurant. Is there somebody who has ever heard of Mwiko Restaurant or who has ever been there? Mwiko Restaurant. Mwiko Restaurant. So when you go to the ablution block, the washrooms, you'll be able to get one door written blah, just blah, B-L-A. And then another door close by there, written blah like 1,000 times, blah, 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 blah. And then they don't like indicate. They don't indicate like which one is the ladies, which one is the gents. So as a man, if you go and get yourself in between there, should you enter the one written blah, 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 blah on the door or blah? Or blah. You can take these as sources of evidence, yes. I can see I can see Susan, even Catherine's own, the short one, blah, for men, like that, yes. So, and that is what happens with auditing. You go in this case to a manager, you ask for just like an aging report, an aging report. You want to see the provisions for doubtful debts. So you ask for an aging report, and then this guy will start giving you stories for even an hour, blah, 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 blah. What you do, you tell them how auditing works. Thanks very much, you've explained to me, but please put everything that you have told me on writing. That guy goes under, even for 3 days. Because they know that whatever they put down will be, of course, brought later to them. All right. So in this case, they have to write for us, and an inquiries, written evidence is always much better than what here, oral evidence. And this written evidence, especially coming from managers, is what we call representation letters. And again, remember, it doesn't stop there. These guys can still give us a lot of written lies. So as an auditor, I always have to think ahead and see whether there is a way I can corroborate and talk to external parties. So they tell me these are the receivables. I'll tell them, no, please give me permission to talk to your debtors through what we call debtors circularization. So I'll be able to circulate some document there, which goes to all debtors, and they'll be able to confirm their balances with us. At the same time, it's inquiries and third-party confirmations here. So then, ladies and gentlemen, from there, test of details, yes. Test of details, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, from there, we have these others that you need to just read from this book. From this book. Let me just retrieve them. All right. All right. I'm just getting them very fast from this book so I can sort of typing them here so that now you guys can get time later on to just have a look at them. Go find. I need to get this procedures audit. All right. So audit procedures, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? Audit procedures. So you'll be able to get like analytical procedures where you compute ratios and do comparisons. Like we have in this case here under RAEOU, we have I for inspection of records or documents. Remember here, inspection, we are looking at records. We are looking at how reconciliation was done. And then we have also inspection of what are tangible assets. You're going outside there, they're telling you that we have got this number of vehicles. Tell them, like one day, you guys do not have your vehicles being in operation. Stop everything, I'll have to come and inspect. Why am I inspecting here these tangible assets? To confirm existence. Observation is all about, ladies and gentlemen, you going and seeing whether procedures are working, whether internal controls are what here are working. So observation involves looking at a process or procedure, may provide evidence that a control is operating effectively. So what I do, for example, like I was given an opportunity to audit some college, which of course is not around here. So then what did I do? Of course, like these guys are using soldiers as internal control systems. So you get them having like 1 or 2 soldiers at the gate. So this soldier, when you walk in, is supposed to stop you and ask you for a receipt as a sign of you having paid or not paid fees. So then I'll just go and sit somewhere, even ask for a cup of coffee outside there. And then I'll be able to just observe whether that system is being followed. And at times we even use, in this case here, like dummy students. I can go, they get a very beautiful young lady, send this beautiful young lady without a receipt and tell her to go and try how hard those systems are. So she'll reach at the gate, smile a little bit. If that soldier, in this case here, salutes like this and tells the lady, hey, welcome, and go to class, then I'll know systems are not working. So I'll not, in this case here, be able to really do what here, place any reliance on those systems. They're useless. So in that case here, what do we recommend in the management letter? We shall recommend automated fee management systems, where you come with your receipt. In this case, you scan, or your student card, you scan. If you haven't paid the fees, the thing will not open up for you. If you have paid fees, it does like this, and then you get, so that we reduce human interference. We reduce human interference. Or Daystar. Daystar is like that. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, then we have here, and quite already I've been able to explain that, RAEOU. So, of course, O is observation. Observation. And then the U, you have to be very careful with the U. U stands for recalculation and reperformance. Recalculation, at least there's a U here. Recalculation and reperformance. Recalculation, checking the arithmetical accuracy of the client's calculations. You do what we call casting. You cast through. The performance, including the performance management or accounting procedures, such as year-end reconciliations. Remember, under reperformance, ladies and gentlemen, they'll tell me that I've done reconciliation, then I'll tell them, no, let me, in this case here, redo this exercise myself to see whether your calculations are okay, to see whether your procedure is okay. So you're performing here. We're performing here. So could you kindly now ask questions here? I can see RAEOU, repeat, please. So remember, RA, it's the things I've been explaining. R stands for analytical procedures. A stands for inquiries and third-party confirmation. I stands for inspection of documents or inspection of tangible assets to confirm their existence. O stands for observation. Observation, where we are observing, for example, the stock tick. So we go there and see exactly what is happening. And then we have U standing for what here? Recalculation and reperformance. Recalculation, you are casting through to see where there are errors. The performance, these guys will tell you, we did reconciliation, put it aside, do it yourself. Do it yourself. So if they're doing the monthly, you can do one to just confirm whether the procedures are being followed very well. Very well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other thing, yeah, we shall be able to go to spam soap if we follow some procedure. We follow some procedure. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other thing that I would want you guys to go and study about is what we call ACCA cover. ACCA cover, ACCA cover P. It's a very important acronym for management assertions. For management assertions. For management assertions. Very important acronym for management assertions. Don't go to any auditing and assurance exam without knowing management assertions. Without knowing, in this case here, accuracy cut off. Very, very important here. Very, very important. Management assertions. And of course, here, the notes are here. If you come here, and then of course you go here to checking here, look for assertions, look for assertions, you'll be able to get them. They're here. Management is responsible for the preparation of financial statements which give a true and fair view. For each item in the financial statements, management are making assertions. So assertions are basically statements. They are basically the hypothesis. What are they hypothesizing about? Their finance. These guys are liars. In most cases, they are liars. So in this case, the hypothesis, their belief, what they want us to believe is that the financial statements are very accurate. Is that whatever you're seeing in their financial statements here occurred. So if they are putting sales there, that it indeed they sold. That's a transaction. It happened. That whatever you are seeing in their financial statements, ladies and gentlemen, in this case, indeed exists. Under cover, we have existence. E, existence. In most cases, ladies and gentlemen, these guys may have procured a vehicle that basically changed and became what here? Air. They have imported, in this case here, fertilizer that now is no longer there. Maybe one fertilizer is being subdivided into 10 bags of fertilizers. And then, of course, the other empty holes, they're putting, in this case here, what here? Real sand. All right? So they're telling us it exists, but as auditors, we have to confirm. We don't believe those assertions. We tell them that is your assertions. As auditors, confirmation is a key thing. These guys are telling us, for example, under the ACCA cover, R, the concept of what here? R is the concept of rights and obligations. That if, for example, it is assets, they have rights to the assets. We can only say that you've got rights to the assets. You've got rights to the assets if, of course, you have like title deeds, logbook. So we want that register. I have to confirm that. I wanted to do 2 hours, but something tells me that I have an early morning class tomorrow. I will need to go and relax because of the 5 a.m. class tomorrow morning. So it's my hope that you guys have enjoyed. But if I can get another 1 or 2 hours with you in the near future, I'm so sure this is a subject you will be able to put down with a lot of ease. With a lot of ease. So when is the very best day that you can get to meet? The very best day that you can. No, Sunday at 2 p.m. I have AFR. Nope. It's already 10, Mary. I mean, we should not study again as if there is no tomorrow. We still have so many days to exam. Yep. Mchana, I will really be happy if I can teach during the day, tomorrow at 4 p.m. So then, assertions, no, I'm not doing any, they are even there in the books, and somebody is even giving them here. Somebody is giving them here. $4 p.m. We can do those assertions tomorrow at 4 p.m. We still have time. And see, guys here who are really, really wanting to have everything like today. During the day, it's hectic. Gerald, you can even steal your employer's time a little bit and just listen in. You can just sit down and listen in. 10 a.m. I have a high school. I have a high school mathematics students I help, of which I'm so happy because you guys have given me very good kids. Very good kids, very good kids. All right. 4 p.m. is okay. I think everybody is in agreement at 4 p.m. is all right. So then, and I can see the number is really growing. We have hit 80. Where are these guys coming from? Where are these guys coming from now? This unit is going to finish me. No, it can't finish you when you are here. How can it finish you when you are here? Why are we here? Why are we here? It can't finish you. These 80 people, where are they coming from? Now they're 81. Hey, I'm being motivated to continue. But if I continue, I'm so sure I'll disappoint my tomorrow's early morning class. Or coming from afar. Yes, I teach high school students and mentor them. So we have a group where basically we, of course, most of the students don't have mobile phones. So we have a parents with the high school kids WhatsApp group. If you would want to become a member of that group, simply give me a shout on WhatsApp. Just tell me you want to be a member, and I'll be able to do what here too. I'll do there. 0721 is my number. 0721 620 183. 0721 620 183. How is audit marked, Jane? Can I answer that? For now, we are doing this thing for free. For now, remember, it's something I've done for so long. I've been able to assist students here to really pass this and get an A in mathematics for long. But this semester, or rather this holiday, for some reason, those students want other subjects. I can't teach chemistry. I can't remember number of moles concept because I did my high school in 1997. So I can't remember those things. So then what we have said is that we should be able to partner with teachers from Moi High School, Kabarak, where my daughter studies, or in this case here, Starehe Boys Center, have very good connections with them so they can teach the other papers. So then we'll have to have called those guys into a meeting tomorrow. They'll have to sit down and look at costing. And then, of course, we get back to you about like how much do you pay. But if it's mathematics alone, I like doing that for free so that I can also get to remain young at heart. When I joke around with those people, I remain young at heart. Why are you calling Casper many times? Why are you calling Casper many times? Can we start afresh? No. Yeah, this is very, very true. Like what governor is called Gavava. I always call him governor. That notes in a class and the CASNEB questions can be very, very different. Because CASNEB wants you to do what you're doing in the field, wants you to be like a practitioner. So they give you very practical questions. And that's why we are here. If I do just 2 past papers with you, you will overcome. I'll be able to help you guys for leadership and management and what your AAA and AA. Otherwise, thank you very much. You can see my son is really enjoying you being his teacher. Great, great, great. Thank you so much. Great, great. Audit is disappointing us. Application took years. People should stop laughing. We shall overcome. Very interesting. On fire too, we shall overcome. You will be able to get a recording and you'll be able to get some gift from me in the form of what here, some great notes. And I'll walk this journey with you to the end, So then see you guys, all of you, tomorrow at 4 p.m. for AAA and for AA. Otherwise, thank you very much. And I think I've said goodbye too many times, which is an African. Thank you so much. Good night. So be blessed too. Bye. Welcome. Yabarikiwa sana, Catherine. Bye. Great. Thanks, OM.